What's up, y'all? Happy freaking Saturday. And here we go. We thought we were done, but we could never quit them. The Detroit Lions are back on live. So we lost a disappointing game to the St. Louis Rams. You can see there we dropped 20-14 to the MVP, Mark Bulger. Not kidding. Mark Bulger was the MVP this year. We've gone over team stats. We've gone over player stats. How's it going, Jerm? Good to see you guys. What we're going to do, run through of everything, is we're going to finish simulating the playoffs. We're going to go through our Pro Bowl selections before we simulate the Pro Bowl. Before we go into the offseason, we have about $5 million of cap room before the year ends. And if you don't know how this game works, it's use it or lose it. So we're going to re-sign a couple guys with that cap room that we have for extensions before the year ends. And then we'll go through the offseason, we'll go through the preseason, we'll go through there. So we're going to start with the postseason, the rest of the postseason. We obviously lost our disappointing game against the Rams. Conference championship, the New York Jets against the Jacksonville Jaguars, good for them. And the St. Louis Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. Let's go ahead and jump right into the simulation, and we'll see who's going to the Super Bowl. Wow, the Jets just crushed the Jacksonville Jaguars by a score of 24-0. And the St. Louis Rams take home victory against the Seattle Seahawks, going to the Super Bowl. So we'll quickly look at the players of the week, because we can't watch SportsCenter, unfortunately, because it's glitched out. Looks like Lawrence and Bulger doing their thing. Sam Cowart and Webb having good games, but it's the Rams and the Jets in the Super Bowl. That's crazy. So it's not going to be us in the Super Bowl as we won last year, but the Rams and the Jets. The Rams and the freaking Jets are in the Super Bowl. I love that for us. So we'll see who takes home the Super Bowl victory, and then we'll move on to our Pro Bowl selections. Ladies and gentlemen, the St. Louis Rams, the MVP, Mark Bulger, are your Super Bowl champions. Good for them. The Rams take home their first Lombardi of this franchise run, behind the fantastic play of one Mark Bulger. We'll go into the player awards one more time, and we'll check out both the Super Bowl. So we see Mark Bulger there, 286 yards and a touchdown. Steven Jackson with 72 yards and a touchdown. And Reed and Darby having an okay game on the defensive side, but it seems like the Rams really dominated things defensively. And then we can see the Super Bowl MVP also, Mark. So this was the year of Mark Bulger, I guess. Who would have thought Mark Bulger was going to have himself a year here in the 5th year of the franchise? So before we go any further, I'd like to jump into our Pro Bowl selections. It's probably a smart pick to go with the Rams. So we'll check through and see who we get for the All-Pro team. Look at Kenny Watkins, the offensive rookie of the year, taking home a Pro Bowl in his first year. Fullback, nobody. So Roy Williams, clearly the best receiver in the league. But look at Delgado and Holt here. So a abundance of riches for the Super Bowl champions. But Roy Williams is once again the best receiver in the league. Dewey Walters also bringing home a first ballot Pro Bowl bid. I believe it's his second. He's at 100 overall still, so he's got that going on for him. Damian Woody. I believe this is Damian's 5th Pro Bowl in a row. Curious to see if he's going to be a guy that retires on us soon. Roosevelt McKenzie, our rookie kicker, taking home a Pro Bowl in his first season, the Clemson grad. Just doing a great job for us this year. He only missed 2 field goals on the season. Good for Roosevelt. We got Marcus Trufant as the lone cornerback to get into the Pro Bowl this year. He did have a pretty decent year, plus it's a little bit predisposed towards the cornerbacks here. Corey Hall. And all right, so those are our Pro Bowlers. Congrats to our Pro Bowlers. I do have them in the sheet. I think we'll simulate past the Pro Bowl, and then we'll just get to the edge of the postseason. So we simulate the Pro Bowl. Love that for us. I believe we have to hit start postseason. Hopefully I didn't just screw us out of those $5 million, because that would be embarrassing. We kind of don't care about the result of the Pro Bowl, though it's taken forever to decide. It doesn't even tell us players of the game for the Pro Bowl. Banana, banana. Good old PS2 functionality. Oh wow, we're even getting a long pause in the song? Apparently this Pro Bowl has broken ESPN. Bum, 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 bum. Wow, this is quite the simulation. What is happening in this game? How many dots are they going to show? Do you think it'll just keep producing dots? There we go. Germ, I'm not listening to you for the rest of this stream, bro. I'm not going to lie. You're 0 for 2, my guy. The NFC takes home the win. 14-10. That's so funny. It is alive, thankfully. Okay, let's go to our front office. So here's the risk that we run in signing players. We have a lot of guys that are in their last year of the contract. I think there's one that we have to sign through the rest of his career, and that's Deshaun Foster. There are a few guys down this list that I want to look at signing based on how much money we have, and then we'll go from there. There's also some guys that I'm just going to let walk, and we're going to talk about some of those guys as well. But I think Deshaun is the obvious, like, let's just re-sign him right now, make him ours through the end of his usefulness as a running back. You can see here he wants 4 more years and a balanced deal. I'm with the 4 years. I want to give him a descending deal, and I want to take a little bit of the bonus away. I've looked at this, if you can't tell. So we're gonna try and sign him for an even. We're gonna try and sign him for an even. I think I like 30%. Sign him for an even 17 million, 30%. Hopefully he'll take this deal that gives us 4 more million with our cap room to work with through the end of the season. And that puts, basically it gives him like 2 more years of being paid like an elite back, and then his last season is essentially like when we're going to move on from him no matter what, and he becomes a tradable asset at that point as well. He becomes technically a tradable asset after like the 1 year. So we get 3 more years of Deshaun Foster. I assume he takes this. He takes it. So we extend Deshaun Foster 17 million over technically 3 more years. So I've looked at this. I am going to let James Hall walk. I think going into his 10th season, and the biggest reason why is that right there. 58 overall on the defensive end. I don't care how good your pass rush is. Like, you're just not getting to the quarterback. I'm also going to let Zach Thomas walk. I think we're going to sign Pearson. I have kind of an idea for what I want to sign Pearson for, and he's going to get a bonus here. We also need to re-sign. Well, we'll look at what Teddy wants. Teddy might get kicked into the offseason because we also have Graves, and I might want to look at how much Graves improves. Whereas I know for a fact that Pearson is going to step in as the starting lineman inside linebacker this year. I assume he's going to improve. He's already at an 81 overall, which is the same as Zach Thomas, and you can see that speed there is a 71 versus a 59. The strength has a little bit to be desired, but the durability is a lot better, and his tackle numbers are already pretty good as well. So let's look at his contract. He wants a balanced 7-year deal. I'm going to give him a balanced 3-year deal. And we're going to see how much that costs us. And the reason is I think I'm willing to sign him to more. I think I want to go 20%. And this is essentially, and who knows, maybe I can give him an ascending deal, but that makes me squirm a little bit. So if we go balanced and we go up to like 9.5 at 20%, that gives us 2.5 to work with. I think that's a fair number for a guy that's going to like theoretically anchor our defense moving forward. And it also like makes it so I guess I can look at a 4th year. Let me look at a 4th year just for giggles. What does that do for us? 12.5. That technically gives us a little bit more cap room. Welcome to me doing this. I don't mind this, actually. So, I mean, the best way to do this is to go descending, but because Pearson is... And maybe we can leave Pearson alone because of that, because he's not quite ready for a descending contract. Like, I think he's in, like, a short balance contract sort of a span in his career. Someone who... I mean, gosh, we have so many guys to figure out. We got to figure out Breeze. We got to figure out Fowler. I don't know if we necessarily need to figure out Butler. Fitzsimmons is on there as well. But one guy that I was interested in signing right now also because he wants a descending contract is we could potentially just lock up Sam Farmer for the rest of his career right now. I'd probably knock him down to a 20% overall. I don't mind the 6-year deal. I could even like bring this up to like a 7.95 just to sweeten it a little bit. And that still gives us $3 million to work with basically in contract space that we can try and sign a couple of guys that we were already thinking about signing already. So this is another one that I was thinking about doing. It essentially makes Sam Farmer a Lion for life. It hopefully, like, it's going to make next year, or I mean, it'll make next year his highest paid year, and then he'll only get cheaper from there. We missed him while he was out last year. He's been a good guy for us, so I'm going to go ahead and sign him to that deal. So now we're down to 2.91. And I think the 3 guys that I want to consider spending this money on are Drew Brees, they're Roger Pearson, and they're Teddy Lehman. Let's take a look at Teddy's contract. He wants a front load. He wants 7 years. So if we go to descending, we can't sign him for that much money. So he might be someone we have to either kick to the next free agency, or we have to maybe let him go and let Graves step up as the starting outside linebacker. Looking at Drew, now this is potentially exactly what we want. We get him for 4 more years. It kind of takes him to the end of his usefulness of his career. We still get $2 million to work with. We could probably sign him for like 8.75 over 5. I think 40% is maybe a little rich for my blood. I think I'm a little bit more comfortable with 30%. It makes him untradeable for a couple of years. But I think as he gets older, he'll become at least a good backup. And I think for that money down the line, he remains a good backup. I mean, we could go to 20% and make it a clean 9. He might even take a little bit less than that, maybe 8.9 over 5. So this would solidify Drew as the starter, probably, and it would make whether or not we bring Fowler back a question. We'll talk about this. We might draft a quarterback in the first round. So I think I'm going to make this deal. And we still have $2 million to work with. We'll see what maybe some of the other guys that I've been on the fence about signing look like. I think Fitzsimmons is a guy I want to look at. And we're going to keep pushing potentially Pearson and Teddy down the line. So we got a little bit less than $2 million left. We have 2 guys we definitely want to sign. And then probably just, oh God, I mean like Fitzsimmons and maybe Fowler. But at this point, I'm potentially willing to let Fowler walk. We do have the good fortune of seeing how players progressed after this is over. Kelly Butler, we're probably going to let walk away. Nick Harris, I think we're going to let walk away. Let me look at Pearson again. Balanced deal for 7 years. I don't think he's good enough to get a descending deal that pays him, well, this would be quite the investment, and I just don't know if he's worth the investment. Like, if we paid him 22 over 7, that feels like such an overpay for a guy that we don't know is going to be good. And that's, oh god, that's so rich for me. So we're going to have to figure him out. Let's look at Fitzsimmons. We might be able to fit him underneath the wire. Again, I want to go to descending. I probably want to go down to 20%. He's just a good blocker. I don't know if I want to pay him that much, though, to, like, be a third string tight end. So I think probably Fitzsimmons is going to walk away, and we'll draft a tight end that hopefully has some good block numbers. So let's look at Teddy again. Front load over 7, we can't afford it. What about descending over 5? Can we afford that? Okay, so we essentially can't afford to re-sign Teddy right now. Unless we gave him, like... Oh, I mean... We could give him a middle deal, but I don't really love that. I don't like the kind of... I think any deals that are not descending deals, it's hard to justify in the re-signing. I'm definitely going to let Rodgers go. I just don't really want a 69 overall punter who's not going to get better. I guess we could look at potentially re-signing, but again, he hasn't really progressed. His pass and run block are good though, so you know what? I think Kelly might have, just so I don't have to worry about drafting a tackle, I think I might look at what his re-signing looks like. I'm good with a descending deal that's actually kind of team-friendly. I don't hate that. Let's give him 20%. Let's give him 9 on the dot. And I mean... I kind of squirm a little bit at 7-year deals too, but... I mean, this is essentially like the rest of his usefulness. Alright, I mean, we can essentially just sign Kelly Butler for backup tackle. I mean, but I don't like how that looks. I don't want to pay someone who's not that good over $1 million either. So, I mean, I would love to not let these $2 million go unused. We could just pay Fowler. We could just bring him back and have the same quarterback questions that we have moving forward. Probably bring him back for 4. He's pretty cheap. He wants a pretty cheap contract, so maybe we do what he like. We could just do exactly what he wants. 420 over 4. Hell yeah. So he's less than $1 million next year. All right. Honestly, let's just bring him back. Screw it. Maybe we don't draft a quarterback. Let's see who we got here. But I don't mind paying him less than $1 million, especially if it doesn't really hurt our cap room. So we got $1 million left. At this point, I do not think there's anyone here that we could re-sign for this. Oh, we could get the kicker back next year. Or the punter back next year if we really wanted to. Have him on contract for $310. You know what? I might do that. Just to get him. We could also potentially... No, we can't. So we put Kelly Butler out of reach. Pearson and Teddy we'll take care of in the offseason. Hall we're going to let go. We have plenty of defensive ends. Thomas is gone. Rogers is gone. Fitzsimmons is gone. He's a little bit too rich. You know what? Nick Harris is cheap. Let's just take him. I wonder if we can, like, squeeze a second year out of it, too. And that, like, actually gets us... I mean, what's funny is we still probably have a little bit more money we could spend. But it gives us a little bit of insurance if we don't find a punter that we're super in love with. And he hasn't done anything, too. And who knows? He might retire. Like, we don't even know who's going to retire at this point, but let's use it. All right, Nick Harris is still with us. So now at this point, we're really just trying to re-sign these two guys, and then we'll look at what else is out there. So I think that's been one of the more active re-signing periods we've ever had with our contract extensions, but I think we're at a point where we can go ahead and move on to the off season. So we're now in the off season. Look at us. Let's go to see who retires. I think we're gonna go through all of this. Zach Thomas retires, as does Nick Harris after getting his new contract. So looks like we're drafting a punter. Zach Thomas retiring is like awesome for us. He finishes his career with 1,300 tackles, 16.5 sacks, 13 forced fumbles, 19 interceptions. Hell of a career from the Texas Tech Red Raider. Played for us, had a couple of rough years with injuries. His best year was definitely 2005. Managed to get in for all 16 games last year, but now Roger Pearson is definitely going to be Mike linebacker number 1. Let's go around the league. We've got a couple of big retirees here. Amon Green and Hannibal Navies both hanging it up for the Packers. They have $35 million in cap room. Sauerbrunn, hanging it up for the Panthers. That seems to be the only big one. And Druzzi, Grant Windstrom retires a Patriot. And that's it for the Pats. I will get that money back. That's a cool thing. For the Raiders, lots of retirements here. My goodness. Troy Hambrook, Charles Woodson finally calling it a career. Bobby Hamilton, Chad Lewis went from the Eagles to the Raiders. Clint Finley, Chris Hope, James Thrash hanging up. And that's it for the Raiders. For the Super Bowl champions, it looks like Dane Looker is calling it. Orlando Brown, the tackle. This seems to be the only big ones. Jeff Wilkins, the kicker, retiring champion. Kevin Johnson hanging it up. That's pretty much it for the Ravens. Lots for Washington. Reuben Brown, Ohalate, Ronaldo Wynn, Robert Royal, all calling it a career. Nothing really to write home about for the Saints. Gary Walker calling it a career. Heath Evans as well. Steelers, Mungro, Kreider, R.W. McQuarters ended up there for the Bears. Monte Rieger retires as a Texan. Brandon Stokely retires as a Titan. Chavis is finally retiring. Rosenthal, Burt Berry. Lots of retirements on the Vikings. Clinton Portis is just chilling in free agency right now? Are we serious? What's going on with that? We got a lot of guys in free agency currently. Derek Smith retiring. Ty Law retires a 49er. That's interesting. Eric Johnson calling it. Tommy Harris calling it after just 6... Oh, no, he's expiring. I'm sorry. Cedric Woodard, the only Bears guy. Brooking retires as a Bengal, as is Darren Sharper. Brian Simmons. Lots of retirements on the Bengals. Lawyer Malloy, David Boston retiring as a Bill. Interesting. Thomas Jones retiring in purgatory as a Brown. McFarland calling it a career for the Bucks, as well as Derek Brooks, as well as James Ferrier, as well as James Galloway. Wow, lots of big retirements from the Buccaneers. Garcia and Cameron Spikes, a couple of linemen retiring. That sucks for them. Nothing big for the Chargers. Nothing big for the Chiefs. Not too much for the Colts. Ricky Williams finally retiring for the Cowboys. Greg Ellis as well. Earl Holmes. Terry Glenn, some big retirements there. Nothing too big for the Dolphins. Nate Wayne calling it a career for the Eagles. Carpenter and Draft retiring for the Falcons. Green and Peterson and Finn for the Giants. The Jets, Mawe calls it. Dre Bly ended up. So Dre Bly, who started as a Lion, finally retires as a New York Jet, making it to the Super Bowl. And then we're back with our guys. Now before, well, first and foremost, I think we should let our guys retire. So we'll let our guys retire. I never really try and re-sign anyone out of retirement. That puts us at $16 million of cap room. So I feel pretty good about my ability to sign the guys that we want to bring back. But I do want to look at player progress. Although it does kind of look like, did anyone actually progress? Actually, Carr went up a point for sure because he was at a 66. I think Hamilton might have gone up. Or are these just the same numbers as before? I feel like they're the same numbers as they were this whole time. Yeah, no one's really changing. So I guess player progress doesn't exist? Question mark? Look at Leo Jackson taking big jumps. So the question here is, do we want to stick with Graves, who's in his second year? He's a better tackler. He's not as good on pass rush. He's better at coverage. He's not as good at run coverage. He's not as fast. He's not as agile. He's not as strong. He can't jump as high. He's got more stamina. He's not as good durability. I think I just talked myself into signing Teddy Lehman for a little bit longer. So I think we're going to stick with Teddy. He seems to be on his way up still. Luckily, Pearson here also seems to be probably worth the money that we're about to spend on him. So that's pretty exciting. We re-signed Farmer, even though he lost 3 points last year. I have a feeling he's going to have a bounce-back year. We also are going to look at cornerbacks. Hamilton's looking solid. Sparks is looking solid. McKenzie jumps up to a 69. I think that's going to get bigger. And punter is something that we need moving forward. So we can't look at our trades yet. Although I think if I did look at my guys, I think I could technically start a trade. Yeah. So let's look at the... Oh, come on now. Let's just... I'm not trying to trade anyone right now. So we have 2 second-round picks already. They're late second-round picks, but they're second-round picks. We have 2 third-round picks. We have 2 fourth-round picks. We have 2 fifth-round picks. That's dope. It also means we could potentially trade up on this first-round pick if we want to go a little bit higher in the draft. We will get there. Let's look at Teddy first. I think he's probably who we want to focus on. He wants a front-loaded contract over the course of 7 years. That is probably too long. I don't want to keep him more than 5. I will give him a front load. Let's see how much this is going to cost us. $13.75. Maybe I can bring the... Oh, wow. The bonus really means a lot to him. That really means a lot. Would you take $14 million at a 30%? We're going to go with that. He declines it. That's not a surprise. Let's go up to 14.5. I think I'm okay with 14.5. Still leaves us... Like, as long as we have $6 million when it comes time for the draft, because we have so many draft picks, it's unlikely that we're going to be super active in free agency. This locks up our outside linebacker room for at least those 3 years that he's going to be in those $2 million. We're banking on him getting better. He had a good year. I'm going to go ahead and sign Teddy Lehman for that number. Let's look at Roger Pearson. We're really taking care of our linebacker room here. He's 5 years in the league. If he wants a balanced deal, oh god, that's so expensive, isn't it? I'd rather just give him a 3-year balance deal and then start to go descending after that. I don't mind giving him this contract. the bonus adds up to 22.7. So it makes him untradeable for the first year. It does make him tradable after that first year is over. I mean, anyone's tradable. It just means we would lose money if we traded him. But I think the other deal I could do is I could really try and invest in him and go with the descending deal over like 5 years. It's just going to make his first year like, woof. Like, do we really want to pay him 2.84 in the first year? It does it kind of affects our cap room a little bit. I could look at giving him like a balanced over 4. Maybe that's the sweet spot. Balanced over 4 gives us $2 million to work with still. That bonus is really expensive though. The 20%, he doesn't mind it as much. I kind of like this. Okay, Roger. We're going to sign you for this. 11.75 over 4. We get... Oh, he doesn't take it. But let's just go for a clean. I mean, you're going to become one of our most important players, so hopefully this is a worthwhile investment. We get 4 years of Roger Pearson on a $12 million 4-year deal. And from here, I think we're going to let him go. We could still technically make a free agent signing if there's a free agent there that we want to look at. I think the only other guy I want to look at is Butler. Let me look at Butler. That front load over 7 years is killing me, though. Like, I would much rather give him a balanced over 3 or over 4. I mean, could I get him for this? The bonus doesn't really affect the cap room. He has good blocking numbers, which is why I kind of want to just sign him. It's less than $1 million. The bonus is fine. Let's do it. Oh, of course you decline that, you jerk. Okay. Really? Ugh. I don't really want to do that. Okay, we're not signing him. Let's take this into free agency, so... Yeah, I'm good with this. I'm going to take it into free agency. So we're going to let Hall go, we're going to let Rodgers go, we're going to let Fitzsimmons go, and we're going to let Butler go. Hall will probably find a home on another team. Rodgers, who knows? Fitzsimmons, he's more of a lineman. And Butler just wanted too much money, and I don't want to sign him for that. So we're going to go ahead and let these guys go. Let's move on to free agency and see what we've got going on for ourselves. Let's check out these prizes. Ray Lewis is a free agent. Casey Hampton is a free agent. He wants a lot of money. Hall is technically the 3rd most talented. Parsons, Austin Knight, that's an interesting guy we could look at. Let's check out what we got going on here. We'll go by all positions. Actually, let's look at... I want to see where we need a starter. Technically, we need a starting punter. I'm not that concerned about finding a punter in the draft. We don't need a starter in receiver. We've brought back, like, a lot of our general team. 14-year Ray Lewis. Might as well grab him. Like, we can look and see what the punters are. I'd be interested in potentially... Like, if there's a defensive tackle that blows me away, I think Chris Hovan is probably going to be someone that we trade in the final year of his deal and try and get a true, like, pass-rushing defensive tackle, whether that's in the draft or not. I kind of like our defensive end room, although I am probably going to release Allison because that's $1.2 million that we could get back. Again, we've locked in our 2 outside linebackers. Our middle linebacker room is set. By the fact that we just signed Farmer to the deal that we signed him on, I feel like we need to not sign a number 2 cornerback. We're good at strong safety. We're good at free safety. So we'll go through and look, but I just don't know who is going to, like, move the needle for us necessarily, if there's, like, a position of need for us. If anything, someone like an Erickson, where their run blocking is really good, would potentially potentially move me, but like, I don't want to pay that much for him. There aren't really any receivers that interest me that much. We could look at just re-signing Fitzsimmons out of free agency if we didn't want to go into the draft, but we have so many draft picks, like I feel like it's worth it. No centers of interest. We don't really need any guards. I think Nelson would be the only one that I'd be curious about signing anyway, based on these blocking numbers. It's actually kind of wild. How are you a guard and your blocking numbers are that bad? Like, that's too expensive to want to sign him. Butler just wants a lot of money. I don't know why Butler wants that much money. So potentially we sign a tackle in the first round too. That's also a possibility. I don't think Tauscher is worth trying to sign for being a backup. We'll see if Butler even gets any offers. Lots of kickers still out there. And yeah, unless we wanted... I mean, we could get BJ Sander for crazy cheap. Kick power 71, kick accuracy 81. Like, that's not bad. He's really cheap. So we could grab him. I don't think that there's a defensive tackle with the pass rush numbers that we want. Although Tank Johnson is right here. That's kind of interesting. He's got decent numbers, as does Darnell Dockett. Has like okay numbers. I just don't necessarily think he does it for us. So I think defensive tackle is also something I'm going to be looking at in the draft. Just because we have so many draft picks. Defensive end, we're good. Outside linebacker, we're good. Inside linebacker, I'm completely uninterested in signing Ray Lewis. Cornerbacks, Ahmed Plummer is the most talented guy here. Lorenzo Harrington, not a bad looking guy, but again, like, I think this is going to be a position that we draft. We have so many draft picks this year. Wesley Parsons is an interesting strong safety. Free safety doesn't really look like much. And that is that. So I'm actually potentially keen on just... Oh wow, Fitzsimmons actually gets a couple of offers. So let's do this. We're gonna play with... Technically we could just offer that to him and we'd be putting more on the table than all of these other teams. So let's go ahead and offer him like 3/6. 3/5. I like 3/5 for him. That's just the dumbest cheap contract. With like, yeah, we'll go 30%. So we'll just make that offer to him. It's like a little bit insulting, but all the other teams have been like way more insulting to him. So how insulting is it truly? So Butler still hasn't gotten any offers. That's great. That's probably going to be a thing for a while. Sander hasn't gotten any offers either. Front load 30%, 4 years. Like, I'll start at like 2/4, and we'll go from there. Maybe you'll agree to that. So we're sprinkling offers on guys, you know. Baltimore is just really undercutting Casey Hampton, who I can't believe is an 86 overall. Too bad his pass rush isn't high enough. Because that would be it. If we didn't already have Martin, who is kind of a pass rush guy. Like, I'll go look at Martin right here. Oh, Martin's a run coverage guy. Is that what I said? That's what I said. I want someone with a lot more of a pass rush, so Martin can kind of be like the big run stopper in the middle. So I don't think... Are these the only two guys I offered for? Let's see what we got. Okay, so Minnesota gives Fitzsimmons a real offer. 6/4/6. I'm probably going to let that go. I'm not really trying to match that. So we will draft for that. No one has offered on Sander yet, so I'm going to let that ride. No one has offered on Butler yet, so we're going to let that ride too. I have to imagine Fitzsimmons is going to fall out here at some point. It's actually incredible he hasn't signed with anybody yet. Tim Rattay chilling down there at a 69 overall. Nice. Dominic Davis looks like he might go to the Titans. This Garrett Reed kid's actually a decent receiver. He might go to Green Bay. For some reasons, Fitzsimmons can't figure out what the better deal is there. And we still have the best deal for Sander. Alright, so Sander did not like our offer. He has no other offers right now, so I'm going to continue to bullishly offer him that. Did Fitzsimmons just reject all of the offers? No. At this point, I'm literally just trying to sign Sander. And it's actually comical that... What's funny is I'm actually getting... Oh, he wants 3.8 over 4 now. It's richer than before. What if I gave you 2.5 over 4? How about that? Waiting for offers. Didn't like it. Now he's at 2.8 over 4. It's actually pretty cheap. But I'm still going to try and get him for 2.3. Hampton's still out there. Dallas is fighting for him. Parsons is probably going to go. Let's see, New Orleans looks like they've thrown a big deal on him. Let's look at this Austin Knight kid. 83 overall. More run coverage than pass rush. That tackle's really good, though. Too bad. He clearly does not know he's a punter, Al. Fitzsimmons finally went to somebody. What are you considering? Like, what offers are you waiting for, my guy? I mean, honestly, this isn't a bad deal for a punter. I'm just kind of being a dick about it. What if I gave you 255 at a 20%? Come on now. You want to take this. Come on, BJ. No one else is trying to give you money right now. I'm the only one who's trying to give you money. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Still waiting for offers. We're the only one offering you, dude. Really adamant about getting paid what he's worth. Alright, what if I did 275 out of 20%? Would you take that? This guy is going to go into having no job rather than taking this free money. There's no one offering on you, dude. He's literally going to take no money over some money. Alright, well, screw it. He's going to win. I can't even get him to 275. I mean, getting to work with $9 million to draft the rest of our team is plenty of money, so I'm not that worried about it. Take the contract. Holy shit. He's literally gonna balk me into doing this. And he wants more? Hell no. 2.8 and you like it. I'm literally gonna draft a punter if he doesn't take this. Okay, we're drafting a punter. Yeah, I'm gonna be bullish about that. Fuck that guy. Okay, let's talk. We're in the combine now. I think most of our team, like, we're bringing back a lot of the same team here, and I think we need to grab a tackle, a defensive tackle, a tight end, a cornerback, and a punter. Let's look at Mel Kiper's draft board, and let's see how many. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot of tackles. 6. So not 6. So it has us taking Clark Wood. We don't need a halfback, so we're going to mess that up for sure. So we need to look at Boone. We need to look at Gomez. We need to look at Gross. We need to look at Curry. Walters, and that's it. Now the other question is, like, do we? Like, we could look at who's left over too. Although I'm unsure if I want to bring back a SPAC, so maybe drafting the tackle is the move, and we try and find, like, our tackle of the future in this draft, because we got Moses Ward 4 years ago, and he's been working out pretty well for us. So maybe tackle is the move. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go back to Mel Kiper's draft board, and I'm gonna write down all of the tackles that are ahead of where we're picking currently and what position they're currently slotted to be taken in, because I am not against using the wealth of draft picks that we have in order to trade up for whatever pick we want to get our guy with. So the most talented guy seems like this guy Walters guy. Look at that, 6'2", 346. Oh my god. Potentially the cousin of Dewey. We can just, like, pretend like that's true. And then picking at 13th are the Raiders. They're going to look at Randall Curry. That's just a fantastic name. Once again, 6'3", 357. Big boy. Gene Gross at 17 to the Steelers. North Carolina. The Tar Heel. So lots of talented tackles in this draft, it seems like. Roland Gomez at the Bears at 19. And then Ross Boone at 23 to the Saints. So the other reason why I said we might draft a quarterback is because the only quarterback on this list is Lynn McDonald here, is the only first-round caliber quarterback, so there could be others on that list that look interesting. Some other guys that I want to look at, though, in terms of rookie report, in terms of guys that are maybe talented to be drafted high, Arnold McGee at defensive tackle is going to be someone that I look at because of how highly rated he is, potentially a second-round pick for us. Looks like Guy Walters is the 5th best player in this draft. So we're going to have to take a long, hard look at him. There's a couple of cornerbacks that look like they come highly touted. Archie Swanson as the tight end. So we definitely, looks like there's a lot of talent in the cornerback position here specifically. I've seen a lot of cornerbacks pop up here. But let's go into our combine. And let's take a look at some tackles and see if we need to trade up. So we'll go to the tackle position. We're going to start with Walters, who is easily the best player out of these guys. We're then going to go to Curry. We'll get a full report on him, and then we'll get that 1 point on Gross just to advance the day. Now we just need to remember to not advance past the 4th day. So just to look at who we've scouted. I mean, this guy's ready right now. Aggressiveness at a 55, but that like 72 strength, 78 pass block, 77 run block. I doubt. I seriously doubt and I'll go through the rest of these guys. I doubt that there's going to be a tackle better than him as we go to Gomez. We get a full report on Gomez, and then I literally wrote 23 Saints. What an idiot I am. Let's see if I can figure out. Oh, it was Boone. It was definitely Boone. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it was Boone. Oh, can I just look at the big board here? Nope. Okay. We can also, let's see if I was right about Boone. Boone, I was right. Okay. We could also draft punters. Like, we can really find the guy that we want to take. So we'll go to tackle. We go to Boone. That's all I can do for this one. So let's go ahead and advance. Let's take a look at the guys we scouted. Yeah, awful run blocker, average, good, poor, bad blocker. So yeah, I mean, and I'll get the full report on Boone just to do it. Like, no other lineman is going to be as good as Walter, so we would have to really trade up for it. Like, we could look right now on what the Chargers would want for this. So let's go to the Chargers. Say we really want to grab their first round pick. So we look at their 6th round pick. What can we what can we trade for it? I think our first round pick goes without saying. We'd probably give them our firsts. And then I would probably say give them the worst of the 3rd and the... No, it doesn't quite do it. Do I have extra picks in the year following? So, like, I'd be willing to give up a next year's 2nd. Does the next year's 2nd without the 3rd this year get us there? No, it doesn't. So, that's a decent amount to give up for... I mean, again, like... This guy will sit on our bench for 1 year and then probably take over for Backus as a starting tackle. So, like, could be worth giving up. I hesitate to give up one of our 2nd round picks, but we could also just come in with like a big grandfather offer. I mean, a 1st and a 2nd gets us there right away. I just know that 2nd round picks are so freaking valuable. We can't do it with 3rd and 4thers. We could do it with both of our 1st round picks and just get out of the first... Let's see. It would hamstring us in terms of like drafting a new... But like we're trying to be good next year. So like what will that 1st round pick really do for us if it's... We're good on edge rushers. We're good. Maybe I just... What can I get back from the Chargers from... Like, if I can get a decent pick, they're not going to give me a 2nd. They would give me an extra 3rd. That could be big. Oh, and these are next year draft picks, too. They wouldn't give me a 2nd. They wouldn't give me a 3rd. They would give me a 4th. They wouldn't give me... They would give me a 3rd next year? And do I have a 3rd next year right now? I don't. Let's do this. We got 2 picks in the 2nd round already next year. This is starter tackle level. We'll stash him on our bench for a year. But we're going to trade up for this guy. I think this is the move. I'm going to give my chat like 30 seconds to freak out. But I'm currently looking at trading both this year's 1st rounder and next year's 1st rounder in order to pick in the 6th position this year to grab a tackle that I think will come in as like a really talented tackle right away. I'm going to see if chat comes in, but I'm probably going to do this trade. This is why I have you here, so I can talk it out with y'all. Alright, no one has said you're an idiot, don't do it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna trade our first rounder this year and next year in order to grab both a first rounder this year. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, so the third rounder is from next year from the Chargers, and we're gonna get our 6th overall pick. This is technically the highest we've ever drafted with the Lions by making this trade. So we offer it. The trade has been accepted. We are now trading at 6th. Let's see if the Chargers needed a tackle on this position, because it'll be funny if they did it. They don't really need a halfback either. I didn't really look to see. Oh, they totally could have used the tackle. Oh my god. Well, I don't know what to say about that. That's just what happens. So we have a couple more scouting days left that we can do. I want to scout Arnold McGee here because we need defensive tackle, and I'm curious like just how good he is. But I have no way to know where he's gonna get drafted. After McGee here, our big position of need, I feel like, looks like Walters has dropped down to the 11th overall player. I'm not super mad about that. Oh, looks like Duke had some talented guys this year. Like, I'm potentially looking for the first punter on the list. I could look at Julius Dennis here, just to give us another defensive tackle that we looked at. Let's look at Dennis. I think this is how the draft would have gone if everyone like actually picked by need potentially, or by whatever. But let's look at Julius Dennis as a scout, just because we're looking at defensive tackles right now, and then we can kind of play around with what else we want to look at. Because I do think we're going to be looking at a defensive tackle in the second round. I want to grab someone that could potentially start for us right away. So that's going to get 3 each. We'll go ahead and finish that scout. So it looks like he's much more of a run coverage guy than a pass rush guy, which is unfortunate. Now, see, Dennis, I think this is a guy that we potentially want to look at on our board, because that 76 pass rush is really nice. I like that a lot. And he's fast. He's got a 73 speed. That's actually really fast. Like, he's strong and his run coverage is great. I think Dennis might be my guy. So we'll have to try and remember that. We'll go back to the mock board. I wanna look at the punters, not the mock board, the rookie report. Imagine if the mock draft changed and yeah, okay, good. They have us there at 6. Perfect. So we're gonna see, we can scout essentially 2 more players fully. Tight end is a position that we potentially need. We could look at Archie Swanson. He's got great hands. Look at that, 5 hands for a tight end is really, really good. He could be, actually, I mean, are we just gonna be really good at drafting tight ends? I think cornerback, I'm probably going to go on vibes. Adkins is interesting. He might be more of a blocker. A lot of bench, 35 bench. So maybe Adkins is the guy because he's more of a blocker. We got Ivan Mathis down here. That's the first defensive tackle I've seen, I feel like. I mean, punter Reynolds. Jamie Reynolds. Let's do Jamie Reynolds. Let's just scout him. Let's see what he looks like. He's technically the best punter in the draft. Oh, there's only 3 punters in this draft? Are we serious? Well, we'll do a full report on him. Let's go to tight ends. I believe it was Swanson was one. And I'm blanking on what... Oh, it was Adkins. Let's do... We only have 4 hours left, so we're going to just do 2 hours on the 2 of them. And that's going to be our scouting targets. So let's go ahead and scout our final guys. We'll go to our scouting targets. McGee here, defensive tackle. Much better run coverage guy. Can tackle, really solid. Maybe not what I'm looking for. We're going to be drafting Walters, a cousin of Dewey. We're bringing him in. Catching and run route for Swanson, both excellent. Average blocker, that's okay. Atkins is also an average blocker, so I would almost rather bring in this guy, especially if a lot of these numbers look the same. Dennis is seeming like our guy at defensive tackle. Reynolds... Hope your coverage team is solid, not exactly Mr. Clutch. I don't think we're going to draft a punter, you guys. I just don't think we're going to draft a punter. I think we're going to try and sign that guy out of free agency. So I'm pretty solid. We're going to definitely go with Walters. We're going to keep an eye on Swanson, and we're going to keep an eye on Dennis. I was just writing all those names down for myself. So, we're heading into the NFL draft. I don't know if I can look at the big board anymore. There's no more big board. So we're going to get right into it. Very exciting stuff indeed. So with the 6th pick in the NFL draft, as we see a bunch of guys come off the board, they want us to take the tackle. We want to take the tackle. We're going to go ahead and select Gary Walters with the 6th pick. Guy Walters, I apologize. 6'2", 346 pounds out of Duke University. Guy Walters, welcome to the Lions. Now we get to sit here for a while, and I did see some defensive tackles come off the board, so that's a little unfortunate. Did both of our guys go? That's going to be such a bummer if both of our guys. McGee goes to Georgia Tech. Dennis goes to the Falcons. What a bummer. Adkins and Swanson go as well. Oh no. So we lose out on all of our guys almost immediately. I do want to look at defensive tackle only because defensive tackle and tight end are probably, well, defensive tackle specifically, I feel like, is our most immediate need and someone I want to try and get as a starter. Oh, that's such a bummer that both of those guys went there. Let's go to the rookie report. I don't, as much as drafting a good... So Sparks looks like he's the best guy here. He's fast, 4.34. He can jump. He's got nearly a 40-inch vertical. And he's pretty smart. Mathis is also still on here. He's got a 30 bench. Was Mathis the guy that they were telling us to look at? And then Washington, 4 overall hands. Not super fast. Pretty decently strong. Go Hokies. So honestly, I've got a toss-up here. Looking at our team needs, I think our most immediate need is in that defensive tackle position. And as we see, we just spoiled Walters' overall, so I apologize for that. I think I'm going to grab the defensive tackle because I think Chris Hovan's going to be moving on. I'm probably going to trade off of that contract and rock with a younger line, and hopefully this guy is a pass rusher, or if not, we'll sign the pass rusher. But because we have Dewey and Ben, I mean, we're going to have a pick in a couple of seconds after this, and I think cornerback is, like, I like Enrique Hunt, I like Keith Smith, so I think cornerback is something that we could potentially draft for pure speed. So I think I have talked myself into the move already. which is... So Wolf wasn't the guy that they were highlighting for us. So I'm between Washington and Wolf for this pick. Although, again, I feel like that was someone else that they were highlighting as the better player overall. Oh yeah, it was Ivan Mathis. Who's Wolf? 16 sacks, he's smaller. He's much faster. He's not as strong. Why did they want me to take him over Mathis? Yeah, I'm with you on the DT, I think. So the scouts want us to take Wolf. The big board says Mathis, or the rookie report says that Mathis is the most talented. Is Wolf very far behind? Henderson. Where is Wolf? Where is this Wolf guy coming from? Ray Martin. So this guy isn't even showing up here. I think I'm gonna go with Ivan here. Where is he? Where did he go? Did I not scroll past him? He's pretty high up on the board. He's big. He's not super fast. He is pretty strong. Wolf is like way down here. Maybe it's the shuttle run that sets him apart? I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, that's true. Wolf might be available later. Alright, I'm gonna go with my gut here and grab Mathis. I like his numbers. I like that shuttle run is actually on Wolf's level. So we're gonna go ahead and grab Mathis here with this pick. And again, we do get to pick pretty much like 3 picks later. So we're gonna go ahead and grab Ivan Mathis out of USC, the USC Trojan. Welcome to the Lions. I think we pick like literally 2 picks later. So I think let's just grab Washington right here. I really like Washington. Sparks could be interesting too. Actually, you know what? I'm starting to think maybe Sparks is the guy. Yeah, Sparks is way up there. 4.34, nearly a 40-inch vertical, pretty smart. Washington might be gone by the next round, but I'm willing to risk it. I think Sparks is the guy. Another cousin of a current Lion. Is he one of the faster ones? He is one of the faster ones too, so we're gonna go with Sparks here. Clark Sparks out of Virginia, 5'9", 203. Pretty fast. He's strong. He could jump really quick on the shuttle run. I think this is the guy. Al Davis with a frame. That's funny. All right, Clark Sparks. Welcome to the Lions. Now we do pick twice again here. Looks like Washington got picked. I just don't think I want to, like... If the best punter was that bad, like, do I really want... Oh, is this going to go by best available? Does this show the same thing that... Did I just figure something out, like, years later? No, it's different. Okay. So if we're still going by need, Leon Briggs, big boy, pretty decently fast, pretty strong. Let's look at tight ends right now. This guy can potentially block and catch. Theodore Foster. Was that the guy who they were wanting me to look at? Jesse Watkins with a 30 bench and 4 overall hands. Interesting. All right, I gotta go look at this. Yeah, it wants us to look at Theodore Foster. I'm actually kind of into that. So Theodore Foster, not the slowest. He's hella strong, which means his block numbers might be good. His shuttle's a little rough, and he has 2 hands, which means he might not be the worst catcher. This guy is going to be a lineman, and that's essentially what we want. So I think Theodore Foster, you're the strongest of the tight ends on the board in terms of bench press. I think there was actually just one guy that had a better bench press than you. East Carolina, welcome to the Detroit Lions. Theodore Foster is now officially on. I think we get another pick, just as a pick later here. So now we get to kind of, at this point, we're starting to kind of play around with what we need, what we could grab. So let's take a look at our team needs really fast, see where we're at. Hopefully this won't spoil anything. I don't think it will. Wow, so I continue to be uninterested in drafting. I mean, maybe we can draft a punter if we just quickly look at the punters that are available. I assume BJ Sanders still out there, as is Noah Barrett, as is Daryl Cannon. These guys suck, but he's a competent punter. I'm probably just going to end up signing him. So at this point, we can just start drafting based on best available, which I think is really exciting. I'm not against looking at this Sean Parker kid, because I mean 30 bench for a fullback. Potentially, again, like the strongest guy on the board. Oh, that's cool. I have a buddy who went to East Carolina. Pretty smart as well. Do I want to look at Sean Parker as... Well, let's see what the scouts want. Sean Parker's the best on the board right now. He's not on our scouting list. We've got Griffith, we've got Bryant, and we've got a couple of tackles. I'm not against drafting a wide receiver here. This guy has a 5 overall hands. He's a little weak. He can jump out of the gym. His shuttle is weirdly slow. Another East Carolina guy. Do we just draft 2 East Carolina guys twice in a row? This is actually... I'm maybe not mad about grabbing Griffith right here. I wonder where he is on the big board, the rookie report. Interesting. He's not very high up, so I would... There he is. Okay. Let's do it. Let's grab Jimmy Griffith. Fast guy, 5... We love 5 hands. We're going to go ahead and use that second, third round pick to draft Jimmy Griffith out of East Carolina. Let's do it. Jimmy. So now we're in the 4th round. We could go back and look at defensive tackle, since that was a position that we need a little bit of depth in. Sean Parker's still on the board. A couple of centers that might also be talented are still on there. I remember seeing a couple of those outside linebackers, which again, I don't necessarily really feel like we need an outside linebacker. It was defensive tackle that they were telling us to look at, which I'm not against grabbing one here in the 4th. It was Irving Bird A little bit faster, just as strong, better jump, shuttle's okay. Not super smart, but he's big. We can definitely look at drafting a QB late. I actually think I am going to go with Irvin Bird on this one. Yeah, 21 sacks, 41 hurries. This definitely seems like more of a pass rush focused guy. So I think we will grab Irving Bird here. I'm with the scouts. And then we can look at a late quarterback for sure. I think all of my scouted guys are gone at this point. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Irvin Bird. Out of Buffalo. Love it. All right, so we'll grab Irving here. We head to the... Oh, we have another 4th round pick. We had 2 picks per round in this one. Duncan is what the scouts say for outside linebacker. We'll once again see what the rookie report says. I think this might be the one where I grab Parker. We could also look at Thomas Lynch, although I just don't know if I want another quarterback who's that slow. That's my thing with Thomas Lynch there. Bench at a 12. That's rough too. That pretty much needs no pass power. Let's just go to quarterback. I mean, slow. This is interesting. Ignacio King. 4.92 with a 27 bench. Let's keep a bookmark on Ignacio King, okay? But I think I am gonna go ahead and grab Sean Parker right here. I think he's probably at the point where the fullbacks are gonna start going. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Sean Parker with this pick. I'm curious about him. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. There we go. So this guy's been the best player on the board for a minute. I'm hoping that with a 30 bench, he's gonna go ahead and give us a blocking look at fullback. We're now in the 5th round. I don't see Ignacio King on our scout. There's still a lot of quarterbacks on this draft board. So Ignacio King is still there. Rookie report tells me that we could look at another quarterback in William Jensen. He's small, though. Ooh, Lawson is kind of interesting. He can jump higher. He can bench more. He's a little bit slower, but I'm okay with that. I don't think safeties are a thing we need in this draft. So yeah, let's just grab our guy right now. Although we could, I have a feeling that Ignacio King is going to be around towards the later rounds. So I suppose we could go with best available. So that in that case, it would probably be a toss-up between William Jensen and Marcus Lawson, and I think Marcus Lawson is where I'm leaning. I think this might be one of the first years where we actually like have to cut some draft picks or something. But we are also going to be... What did the scouts say? It said Perkins. That isn't even one of the 2 that I had. It was William Jensen and Marcus Lawson. What was the one I wanted me to look at? Perkins? Oh, that's the fast one. He's actually still kind of strong, too. 26 bench is not bad. He can't really jump, but this guy, I mean, Santiago and Perkins as my return team, that could do it. Lawson would definitely be more of a defensive pick, I feel like. Another Tar Heel versus Duquesne. Ooh, I love that. Alright, I feel like I am in between a rock and a hard place here. Franklin Perkins, 6'2", 181. 39 passes defended, 19 interceptions, 4.2 40-yard dash, 4.28, 26 bench, 20-inch vertical, 411 shuttle run. Or, where'd he go? Marcus Lawson, slower shuttle, slower top speed, but not by much. 27 bench, 37 overall vertical. Only had one more interception last year, it looks like. I'm going to go with Perkins. Let's take the fast guy. Let's do it. Alright, we get to pick again. This is round 5. So we'll have, I believe this is it for our double picks. We'll only have one more pick each after this. Yeah, I think our quarterback is going to be there. So let's go back and look at best available / need. There is this free, I mean, we could take the free safety and let him learn behind Sparks. You know what? I'm not against that, because Terrence Holt, I feel like we could probably cut that money. So I think I've potentially just talked myself into Harold Vaughn very, very quickly. He's not on our list, which I find interesting. We don't really need any of these guys. Let's go with, I'm gonna go with my gut here. Harold Vaughn, 6'1" out of Virginia. Fast guy, strong guy, slow shuttle, but that's okay. Decent jump. Let's take him. Harold Vaughn, welcome to the Lions. I think potentially, do we want to just grab our guy? I have a feeling he's still there. I think he's going to be there till the 7th round. So let's look at who's the best available. I'm making the bet that he's going to be around till the 7th round. I mean, we definitely don't need a strong safety since we drafted Walton. Although there seems to be the most in terms of strong safety talent left. There's a lot of cornerbacks left. Let's look at our needs again really quick. So yeah, I mean, I could throw a bone at a tackle in a late round. I don't think I need another. I could grab another outside linebacker maybe if I wanted to. If it seemed like they were more talented ones there. So let's see what we got. Alexander is a tackle it wants me to look at. Oh, it's literally one of the only guys left. Frederick Alexander. Wonder why he's better than Richard Wood. I mean, I kind of see why. More pancakes, less sacks allowed. Okay. I'm kind of okay with this. We don't really need anything else. So let's go ahead and take a flyer on Frederick out of Temple. And then we will go ahead and draft our own Mr. Irrelevant. One Ignacio King, 5'11" King, out of Virginia. And that will officially close off our draft. Dunzo. So now we get to see how good these rookies are. No way is Sean Parker going to come in as the best rookie. He comes in at an 82 overall. Oh my word. I love it. Oh, I love it. Look at Sparks is fast as hell. Jimmy Griffiths is pretty fast. Franklin Perkins is pretty fast. Ignacio King. All right, so we're gonna go through this one position at a time. I am unsure if we're gonna sign Ignacio King. I think if anything else, we could. I think it would basically be like, do we cut Luis and go with Ignacio, or let him stay? Where's that durability at? Better durability. I'm thinking we're gonna cut Luis. Oh, Ignacio's kind of bad. It's fine. But we'll move on from him first. Halfbacks are what they are. Parker comes in. He's not a run blocker, which is what I was hoping he would be, but he's immediately better of a run blocker than Hamilton. But he's not really much of a runner. So I think Gary Long is probably not long for this team. No pun intended. We could theoretically cut him, no harm, no foul. We have a crowded wide receiver room. And I don't know who's going to get, because Santiago's easily the fastest guy on the team. Griffith comes in immediately better than Lane and Webster. Catch isn't that far off. Speed is better. Strength sucks. Durability is bad. But the cool thing is I think we should be able to sign all of these guys right away. I wish he was a better blocker, but that's okay. He might end up being a decent route runner. And then, of course, like, we have the whole preseason to see how these guys progress. So I think I am going to end up signing everyone that we drafted, as we see, except for maybe Frederick Alexander. I don't think Frederick Alexander is going to stay on this team. That was a bad signing. Guy Walters, though. Oh, very excited about to see how he gets going. Looks like Mathis and Bird are both kind of meh. But look at that pass rush. Ugh. Glory be. Glory be. Hallelujah. That pass rush on Ivan Mathis is a thing of beauty. I like that. So hopefully he will develop that pass rush. So this is where the rubber meets the road for Cedric Navarro. Technically, the two defensive ends that we have are better than him. Leo Jackson was a free agent signing, as was Michael Haynes. And again, I think Allison is probably going to get cut, so we get a little bit of extra cap room back. We've locked our linebackers in for long-term deals across the board, which is very exciting. Sparks comes in as actually a little bit better than Keith Smith, so we may actually be able to look at letting Keith Smith go via a trade, which is very, very interesting. And then Franklin Perkins comes in at a 93 speed, which is a little disappointing. I was hoping he was going to be faster. So he's a guy we could also potentially look at letting go. And then, yeah, look at this. Vaughn is going to come in better than Terrence Holt. So, unfortunately, I think Terrence Holt is probably also going to get the door shown to him. And I think first things first, let's go ahead and sign our punter, because we need a punter. And we're just going to give him the damn contract that he wants, because apparently there's no talking him down on this deal. Screw you, BJ Sander. 285, 20%. If you don't take this, I'm going to be so mad. Okay, so BJ Sander is our punter now. Great job by us. We're going to start with Guy Walters. We're going to give him a big deal. It's going to be an ascending deal, which he won't love, but he's going to get paid plenty of money over his time. We'll start it at 14.6. We'll see how this does. He declines it. We'll go 14.75, I suppose. He accepts that offer. Okay, great. So every single rookie is going to be signing an ascending deal. That's just how I work with these guys. It gives us cap room to be flexible. I'm going to give a bonus to the guys that are good, especially because these deals are so damn team friendly. So Sean Parker, welcome to the Lions. And so what I'm going to end up doing, we'll make this a 5-year deal. That's, again, ascending. 73, I'm good with giving you 10%. We'll go like 2.5 probably. Yeah, he'll take this. That's a great deal for us. Love that. All right, Clark Sparks, welcome to the team. Harold Vaughn, we'll go for 5. You're going to get 10%. It's going to be ascending. And then we'll probably put you at like 2.6 maybe? Will you take this? Decline. Jerk. 2.65. Really? Ugh. Alright, if you don't take this, I'm going to be upset. Alright, so Harold is on. Theodore, we're going to extend you to 4. You're just barely making it to the 10% line, my guy. We'll give you 1.75. Nope, not front load. I almost missed that. That would have been awkward. We can do 1.95. That works for me. Mathis, we will sign as well. Ascending. Now that we're under a 70 overall, I'm making these non-guaranteed deals. Well, we're going to hope for some improvement for Mathis because he's going to get expensive real fast in that 4th year. I wonder if I can get him for 5 in it. Yeah, it helps cheapen that out a little bit. Let's sign him for 420. Shout out. Yeah, of course he declined that. Let's try 2.5. Let's see if he goes for that. No? I gotta make sure he actually signs this, so I'll go 4.4. That works for me. So I mean, we're not gonna set. We're not signing Frederick Alexander. I don't think. I don't think we're gonna sign Ignacio King either. That's fine. I do think we're gonna sign the rest of these guys. Let me look at defensive tackle really quick. I mean, he's a body. I don't really want to keep Chris Hovan on this team. I'd rather start Mathis and let him play into it. But maybe that's a free agent signing rather than Irving Bird. So I think we're going to sign Griffith. Not backload, ascending. No bonus. 5 years, 4.3. Let's see if he takes this. All right, Jimmy Griffith's on the team. I'm trying to decide if I want to sign Franklin Perkins. I think I do. We are technically a player over at this point, so there is going to be we are going to have to trade and or cut players. I don't think Bird makes it. I don't think King makes it. I don't think Alexander makes it. We don't really need Perkins, but just by the fact that he's so cheap. Actually, you know what? No, we don't need Perkins. So, unless there's any major argument, I think that's where we're going to leave the team. So we've got our quarterback still. Who knows how this is going to go. But we're going to believe in Breeze again with Fowler as the backup / as our long ball guy. We've got Deshaun, Carr, and Mullins locked in for 3 years, so we'll see what this running back room does. Fullback, we're probably going to be moving on from Gary Long, whether it's a trade or a cut. We just don't really need him. We continue to just like randomly draft really good fullbacks. We're probably going to have to make a decision with one of these wide receivers. As of right now, it's probably between, not Griffith, didn't mean to do that. It's probably between either John Lane, who caught 2 whole passes last year. He was kind of the on man out. And Neil Webster, who caught 10 passes last year. But I think it's truly going to turn out to be like who gets the big rating bump in the off after the preseason is over. We're good here. We're good there. We're good there. Alexander's going to get cut, and then our tackle room is good. We got our punter. I think I'm going to go out and sign a backup defensive tackle. And I'm also going to trade Hovan to get draft capital. Or, I mean, the other option is we let Hovan run for 1 more year and let Mathis back him up for a year, and then he comes in as the starter. I just feel like I could potentially get something for Hovan. So I'm gonna throw him on the trade block, but I think I am gonna not sign Bird here. Only because that run coverage and those pass rush numbers are just so bad. His durability isn't good. Yeah, I think Bird was a good idea, but we're going to let him go. Defensive end, Allison is probably going to become a cut, but we'll see what happens. I also like having 4 defensive ends, so I might just keep him for the year that he's going to be here, but we'll see about how much money I want to save. We're set at outside linebacker. We're set at inside linebacker. We're going to let Perkins go. We have plenty of fast guys. Boyd returns kicks. Santiago returns kicks. And now we have other fast guys as well. Although, what's his agility? 81? Yeah, I'm not going to keep him. And then Terrence Holt is probably also going to be going bye-bye as well. So I think that's going to do it. I think we're going to go ahead and release the rest of the unsigned rookies, which is, again, something we've never done. But, yeah, we're going to release all the unsigned rookies. And that brings us to the preseason. We got the Buffalo Bills, a bye week, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Minnesota Vikings, and the San Diego Chargers, who we traded for that pick. And I think this is actually where I'm going to end up calling it for the night. I know I said I was going to do the preseason tonight, but it's already almost 9 o'clock on the West Coast, and your boy wants to go to bed, and I got to take my dog out and stuff like that. So we're going to do a couple of things before we go. We're going to go to our trade block, and we're going to go ahead and put a couple of guys on the trade block as I go for a big yawn. We're going to put Gary Long on the trade block. We're going to put Chris Hovan on the trade block. And I don't believe anyone's going to be super interested in Terrence Holt. So I think that is going to be it for who we put up for trade right now. Yeah, I think... You know, the other option... Don't jump down my throat. We could put Charles Rogers on the trade block and try and let some of our young receivers step up into that third receiver spot, because Charles has not really produced, and we're paying him a lot of money. So as much as it pains me to say it, I think we're going to put Charles on the trade block, and we're going to see what we can potentially get for him. Because if we go into his contract, he's in the final year of his deal. And we would save about $2 million if we got rid of him. And Brett, we're probably going to be looking at re-signing Brett too, so we're going to want to save that money. So I think we got a crowded wide receiver room, and Charles Rogers is probably the logical guy to send away there. So let's talk about plan for the rest of the weekend. I'm going to do the same stream with the Steelers at some point tomorrow. Probably going to do you know what I'm going to end up doing? I'm going to get up early and I'm going to finish off this Lions preseason. So I'll probably end up streaming in the morning before football, like I did last week, finishing off the Lions. And then I'll probably come back later in the day once I've finished all of my shit. And yeah, I agree with you, Al. I don't think he's going to get re-upped in the following year. So we'll start the day with the Lions. We'll finish the day with the Steelers. Hopefully I'll have the energy to do the whole Steelers thing all the way through from postseason to preseason. But this was great. I appreciate you all as per usual. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for giving me some company as I do this. And always a good time hanging out with you all. So for myself, for Peanuts 24/7, thanks for hanging. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.